Hey guys, it's Tarek with Max Wax Packs, and so I've been thinking a while. I got some laser cutting machines. I do CNC. I've been doing it for 6, 7, 8 years, something like that now. And I decided to bring some laser cutting machines in here. And I noticed that a lot of people in the forums and the groups that do laser cutting don't actually make their own stuff. They're usually borrowing or downloading a design of some sort. And I got to tell you, I mean, it's fun for me to design things. And so I figured I would put this out there for people. And I don't know if I'm going to get a good response or not a good response. I have no idea. But what I am going to do is I'm going to offer my services for free. And here's why. I enjoy doing 3D building. I enjoy doing 3D design. I enjoy cutting. I enjoy 3D printing. I mean, I've got tons of money and time and hard work invested into it. But I enjoy it, and part of the fun is just doing it for fun. So I figured I was going to do something real quick here to show you one of the things I'm working on. I've got videos online. I'll put some links here shortly about some of the work I've done. But just to give you an idea, I owned a drone manufacturing company in 2017 is when I started it. And we grew to be one of the largest in the country as far as we had 8.5 acres. We manufactured racing drones, industrial drones, drones for schools, and everything was everything was drawn in-house by me. And cut. We did all our CNC work, all our carbon fiber work in-house. Nothing was outsourced to China at all, and I took pride in that. I got out of it a little while ago because FAA was changing the rules on how things could go, and I felt like they were putting a little bit of restraint on the students who were learning, and I didn't really want to be a part of the next movement of it, which was more of a business aspect for corporate profits. And so anyways, long story short though, I had done a lot of work in this, and so I still enjoy doing 3D work. And I noticed like a lot of people are trying to come up with ideas and they want to do something unique. And they're like, well, everybody has a laser cutter now, so I mean, I'm kind of competing with everybody. I was like, well, if you've got an idea, but you just don't know how to do 3D drawing, let me know. Hit me up. The way I figured is I'll put videos on the channel. Hopefully that'll get some viewers. We'll make a little bit of, a few bucks here and there off of that. But it's just the fun of being able to keep my skill going. And so anyways, so with that being said, I'm going to do something very quickly here, and I hope it's going to be quickly. I'm not going to really edit this video, so anything that takes a delay, it'll just be delayed. But this is going to be part one, basically the drawing of it. So what I've decided to do is I want to make a stand for my baseball cards. Okay, I'm in the industry where I collect a lot, a ton, and I'm always around other people that collect. And go to shows and stuff. And so I've seen these stands, everybody's 3D printing them, and I'm like, well, I'd like to do something a little different. I'd like to make them out of carbon fiber or metal or wood or acrylic. And acrylic's going to be the first one we try because I have a new XTOOL P2 and I wanted to try that out. So this is going to be a series of parts. But first one is going to be to show you kind of what I want to do. And then if you have an idea of something you want, like I said, just drop me a line and I will, hopefully people will ask. And if you do, maybe I'll have so many that it's going to take me a while to get to all of them. Maybe nobody will ask. I don't know. But I'm going to offer it at no charge just so that I can keep up with things. Now, don't go crazy and ask me to design a skyscraper, for your corporate office or whatever, because I don't want to do that. But I want to do things that are going to help you in the hobby and also keep my wits sharp and keep my skills going, okay? So with that said, here goes. I've got my iPhone here because that's going to be pretty much, I could use a slab like a... this is slab, right? So we call it, if you don't know cards, anything that's in this plastic thing is going to be called a slab. So I could measure this as well. So it's either going to be a phone or this. So I'll start with this actually. So I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to go ahead and measure this. I'm going to say, okay, we are running 80 millimeters wide by, let's see, about 135 millimeters long. Now, I'm going to draw that out here, right? I'm going to draw a slab out here that's 80 millimeters wide by 135 millimeters long, but I'm going to draw it in 10 times its size, because when you work in programs like this is SketchUp, for example, one of the many I use, but when you work in programs like this, if you draw them at the exact same size, there are certain things that you need to do that the program will not allow you to do because it's just too small. So you blow it up 10 times. So if it's going to be 80, then that's going to be 800. 135 is going to be 1350. So you're going to see here, if you look in the bottom of your screen there, the bottom left, I'm going to do 1800. Let's see, 1800, no, sorry, 800 by 1350, enter, okay? So there it is now. That is 10 times the actual size, and if you want to see a measurement of that, let me show you. Okay, so here it is, and you can see right there, it's 800 millimeters, and it's going to be 1350, which is pretty much what we said, right? Now, only thing I need this for is reference purposes, so now let's just go off the width, and I have a set of, Mutatoyo calipers right here. These are my favorite calipers. I use them on everything. And so let's see, we will just say that is about, about 6.2 millimeters. So we're going to make this 62 to 63 millimeters thick. Okay, 60 3. Let's just do that, okay? Now, a couple things we want to do is, since those are rounded, what we'll do is we'll come in and we'll bring these in about, oh, I don't know, let's just say 5 millimeters, which is going to be 50. Remember, when I give you the number, multiply it times 10, because that's the measurement I'm going to do. And if I ever put a file for you, if you ever want something that you can 3D print or that you can take and put into your laser cutter, you're always going to get it in size times 10. So you're always going to have to scale it down times 10. It won't be any more, it won't be any larger than 10. Okay, so you don't have to worry about that. So we're going to come over here real quickly, and we're just going to round these out so that we're really replicating roughly what a slab looks like. Okay, so let's do that, and we're not trying to get any more detailed in this because it really has no bearing on it at all. Okay, so there's a rough idea of what a slab looks like. Okay, that's what's going to be going into our let me delete all these, into our stand. So I'm going to make this a group, that way it doesn't get messed up. Okay, now since this is what we've got, if we go ahead and we stand this up like what we would look at if it was at a show somewhere, right? So let's stand it up and let's get it on the base like right here. Okay, so there it is. This is what a card looks like. When we want it in show, I would expect it to be leaning about 10 degrees. So I'm going to tilt this back to where it goes to 90. No, that's not right. Hold on a second. Let me redo that. I want to tilt it back. Sorry, 90 is stripping down. So let's just go to maybe 110. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, 110 would be if you're walking up to the card, right? You're looking at it, and it's going to be kind of like, oh, it's tilted at 10 degrees. So it gives, kind of, you can see it instead of looking like this, and you're not able to see it. Well, I'm sure you get the point. All right, so we're going to work with 10 degrees, right? And the next thing we want to do is we want to figure out how easy can we make a stand that requires no screws, that can hold a lot of weight. And we can look at a triangle base, because usually things in triangle bases are going to be the strongest, but we're not going to make a triangle, but we're going to come close. And this is a design that I really think would work. So the idea being is that we want to come up with something that would cross, right? So if we go from here, right, like this, let me pick an edge here, and this is just a rough part here. This does not have to be accurate. But if we were talking about something like this, right, just kind of roughly, right? So what we would say is, all right, if we have something like this and leaning like that, and it crosses on the back, then we're going to have some strength there, and you can kind of get the idea. You see the shape of a triangle forming here, right? So that's kind of the idea of what we want to do, but we can't design it like this and theoretically and realistically have it cut on a laser, because you have to cut in 2D on a laser, and so anything I draw here has to be able to lay flat for it to be cut, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to use this idea. I'll leave those here for right now. And what we want to do is, the first thing we want to do is we want to draw something that is going to be 10 degrees, right? Because we need to replicate this angle. So let's do this. Let's figure out that we want to draw something. Let's see. Let's say if we go straight out, all right. And let me see. I'm going to get the slab here real quickly, and I don't have a camera on my desk right now for you to see that. But if we take the slab and we hold it like this, basically what we're looking at is we're saying, okay, here's my ruler, and I need to have a bit of play, and I'm going to say about 30 millimeters of play, because different cards are going to be different thicknesses, and you may use it for something else, right? So it doesn't have to be that. So we could say 20 or 30. We'll start with 20, and let's see, or let's do 30. Let's just see how long 30 is, which is going to be 300. Okay, and let's put that. One of the weird things about doing programs like these are that sometimes you think you're drawing right on the piece, and you're not. You're like way far away from it. Okay, so here's what 30 looks like. All right, and it might be a little long. There's a lot of room here. So let's see. Yeah, I did not want to attach that. Let's see if we can do 20. Let's try 20. All right. So I'm going to put a 20 line right. I'll delete this one, and let's just do a 20 line right here. Okay. All right. So we're going to draw 20 instead, and we're going to keep. If you can see, 200. If you can see here, when the line is green, that means we're running on the green axis. Okay. So we're going to do 200. There's 20 right there. Now, we want to stop the card or the slab from flying off, so we want to come up some, right? So let's just say we're going to come up, I don't know, let's say 10. But the one thing about it is you don't want to come up straight, because if you come up straight, you're going to be kind of just blocking the picture, right? So if we go 20, right, and then it comes out, and then we kind of go at an angle as well. That way it's not pressed up against the card, right? So let's mimic the angle of 10 degrees. So we're going to do 10 behind it and 10 in front of it. And I don't know, let's see, we may just keep it another 20 in length. So I'm going to take this protractor right here, and I'm going to, whoops, let me put this here. Let me get it, there we go. And I'm going to go straight up, and then I'm going to go over so I can get 10 degrees, okay? And from there, I want to run a line right there. So I'm going to run it for 20. Oops, I keep doing 20 now that I said it's supposed to be times 10. So let's do 200. Okay, 200. There we go. All right. And then as far as width-wise, I don't know. I keep looking, here's my ruler. So if I take my ruler and I think, I don't know, we could probably go the width of the card. We said it was like 60 something. I don't like to go in weird numbers like that, so there's no reason to go into like 63 because it has no bearing just because the card's that thick. But I do like 5 millimeters is probably about the least I'm going to use on anything on this build. So I'm going to say 50 and we're going to go 5 millimeters. Now, the next thing that we want to do is, and you can see where it's going to start building this leg, so to speak. So the next thing we want to do is we want to figure out, okay, if we're using, let's say we're going to use 3 millimeter, whatchamacallits, like 3 millimeter acrylic, right? So with 3 millimeter acrylic, fine. I think that's pretty strong. It should be okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this extend to where the thickest part here is going to be about 10 millimeters down, right? So let me go ahead and do this. We're going to go down. If I can get this thing to cooperate with me, there we go. And we're going to put 100 right here, okay? And what we want to do is we want to get this to come down. We're going to draw a line straight down, all right? And then what we want to do now is we're going to have to, this is going to be our backing, right? So we know that it's going to be slanted at one part, so the back can be straight, and the front of that leg has to be angled for the 10 degrees that we need for the card. So let's just see how far we may want to go. You know, you could probably go about, let's see, we're going to need, well, what we're going to need is we're going to need to make sure that doesn't tip over, right? So let's just see the minimum we go. So if we go right here, here's where our 20 was, right? And we said that we're going to go 10 degrees. So let's go up, and then let's angle back 10 degrees, okay? So here's 10 degrees, and I'm just going to draw a long line here now. I don't really know how long I want to go yet, but I'm just going to draw this super long line because I'm going to use now my slab as reference, right? I don't want to necessarily take away from the slab, so I don't want to have a bunch of material showing. So, and not to mention the fact this thing is going to most likely be crossed over because it's supposed to be like a triangle. So let's, I don't know, let's see if we could go, I'm trying to think, if I take the card here and I measure the card, it was 135, so I don't think we need to go that high. I think we could go maybe 100, and that'll get us right about to this area of the card. Here's a label, so it'll go back here, and what I'm hoping is we're going to go to about just like that. We want to kind of cross it right here, where both pieces may meet somewhere in the center of the card itself and not the center of the slab. So let's just see if we go, let's just say 100, 100 up, maybe 110. It would be 100 from here. So that's going to be 110 from the bottom, actually. So if we go to, that's 143. So let me delete this line. And what we're going to do is we're going to do 100 plus the 10 from the bottom. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put the card on there. So let's do that. Let's go 100. All right. That's going to be 1,000. That's right there. And then let's go back. And again, I was thinking that looking at the card, I'm like, 5 millimeters is probably going to be enough again. So if we match this area right here, let's go back. We'll go 50, and then we're going to come straight down, right? Because we don't need an angle for this one. And let's go across. And look at that. There's our leg, right? There's our first leg. It doesn't look like much. I know. It's kind of crappy looking. But what it does do, and I said I was going to use 3 millimeter, let's say acrylic for now, right? Or even carbon fiber. So I'm going to pull this out to 30, okay? And there is the actual true thickness of the item. So let me go ahead and save this and make this a group, okay? Now, it's kind of okay. I mean, it might be pretty cool. But one of the things that we need to do is we need to take this and let's duplicate it so that we have two stands. And first thing we're going to do is we're going to make this kind of see-through. So I'm going to take these two lines off of here real quickly that I drew because I don't need them now. And what I want to do is I want to find like an even point here. So if we were measuring, I keep spinning this, I'm sorry, but if we were measuring this, we say, okay, look, we won't make it see-through right now, but if we were measuring this, we'd say, okay, look, we made this 800 or 80 millimeters wide, and so we could probably come in about, I don't know, 10 millimeters, so I'll say 100, okay, and I'll say 100 here, all right, and we could probably bring the leg right to that point. So if I was to take this, let's just say this angle here, and I put this right there, okay? Now, that's not exactly how we want it because this is not going to sit inside. So it's going to sit somewhere like this, right? Just on that ledge. And we want it to lean up against here. So what I want to do is I want to make sure that my angle is sitting well. So let me sit this straight back up. Let me move the card to here, right? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to kind of just swing the card itself 10 degrees or so, and there it is, 10 degrees. Okay, so this is an idea of what the card would look like on this stand, right? And let's just take we need to duplicate the stand now. So let's take this and copy this and bring it out. Okay, and what we'll do, is we will go straight out here, somewhere like that, all right? So, I mean, I would be more precise and make these even exactly. But now we're getting an idea of what this could look like. Now, obviously, you could take this card and, you know, the idea is that it's going to lean, it's going to come forward, right, to like this, most likely, and it's going to lean back, right? So we would most likely see this card doing something like this, which would really be appealing to the eye, right? Okay, well, here's the problem. The problem is to get something like this to work, well, it's I don't know, there's not much to it. And not only that, these aren't going to stand freely, so we're either going to have to put more pieces or we're going to have to join these together. And this is where I thought this would be really cool. So my thought was, I'm going to, first of all, take this card away because it's not needed right now. My thought was, why not take these pieces here, right? And let's get them to cross like that triangle. And so what we want to do is we're going to say, okay, let's go ahead and let's turn this to, it gets to minus 135, right? So that is at a 45-degree angle. And then let's do the same thing on this one, right? So here we go, and we're going to say that, and we're going to turn this out to minus 45, and there we go. All right, now, the other thing we want to do is, the main point is where these two cross should be pretty much their dead center. So let's find the center, and let's find the center and try to join these two together, right? So to find a center, we know we were 110 in length, right? So this from here to here is 100, oh, sorry, no, it was 110 straight down. So let me, it should have been at least, let me see. This was 100, and this was 10, so I think I may have shorted this a little bit. Let me see, so if I go up, 1100, where am I at? I'm a little, oh, I need to go higher. Okay, so let me do that real quickly. I was a little too short on this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a line to go up to 1100. That's where I need to take this, so I'm going to do that real quickly. Bear with me a second. I did not realize that I shorted this. Okay, and I'm going to continue this angle. So it should turn like this. You're going to notice it turn like this there, that color right there. It's a purple. That means I'm holding the angle of the line it's attached to. So I'm going to come straight ahead on that green axis right there. And let me just delete this real quickly. And I'm basically fixing a measurement error on my part. But again, I am 19 minutes into this video, and I am going to hurry as best as I can so that you can see kind of some of this easy work or work that's fun for me to do. And so if you have an idea and you want me to maybe design it and print it or give you a file that you can cut with, hey, I would love to, as long as it's something that, you know, I don't have to kill myself over. That'd be great. Okay, so I'm gonna have to duplicate because that piece that I copied was also had the wrong size. So let me bring this out here, and now let's rotate this the other way so it's matching. There we go. And now again, what we want to do is we want to find the center piece. So the center of this one, if it's 110 straight down, right, it's going to be about 550 or 55. So let's draw a line straight up. Okay, on this face here, if I can keep it there, for 550. Okay, and then we're going to draw a line up on this one for 550. Okay. Now I know there's a bunch of lines going on here, but they're going to help us in just a second. So what we want is we want to take that center and we want to join it to this center right here. Now look, there's a perfect X right there. Now I'm going to delete all these dotted lines. So let's delete our guides real quickly, okay? But this is what we wanted. So to test this now, just to make sure that we're on the same thing here, we want to draw on the red axis, and we want to make sure that we touch both things, right? So at least they're even. If we're not crossing those, then we know that we have a problem. So, but these are identically lined up, and we can tell that. I don't think I can measure. I don't think it's going to let me. Oh, maybe it does. Okay, so it does. So we're 315 there. We're on the same axis, no matter at 735 here, and everything looks like it's lining up perfectly, right? Just like that. Okay. So I'd say that so far our stand is looking pretty simple, and all we have to do now is we need to make sure we have a cutout here to insert, right? So that's going to be that's not too bad actually. But what we're going to do is we're going to find if this is 3 millimeters. Now the tricky part is that the acrylic comes in shorter. There's always this give and take a little bit, but we're going to assume that it's going to be 3 millimeters just for the sake of, because it becomes a complete headache if you don't. So I'm going to draw this line right about here, and I know that what I want to do is I want to draw these two lines. Right, so basically I'm drawing the beginning and the end right here of where these meet. I'm going to draw another one here, okay, and I'll keep the line straight. And I'm going to draw another one here, and I'll keep the line straight. Okay, now I'm going to hide one of these at a time. And all right, so here's what I'm looking at right here. So I have these lines, right, here they are, and these lines indicate where I'm going to copy these, and I'm going to open this up. And I need to tell it to hide. You don't have to worry about this, but I need to tell it to hide the rest of the model when I'm working on something. So I'm going to paste these. Oops, let me tell it to paste in place. Okay, so this is where I'm going to be cutting away some of this so that it kind of interlocks into the next one, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to figure out that, let's see, this is going to be about 144, 150. Okay, so we're just going to go to 72. That's going to be our number to use. And on 72, what we're going to do here is we're going to say, okay, for this one, we want to get rid of this side. Okay, so we're going to draw this right here. Then we're going to go make this a little see-through, and we're going to go straight. I'm going to try to go, this could be actually a little tricky, so bear with me a second because I want to keep the angle the same. So I'm at this point here and I want to have this angle. And the way this works, there we go, that'll work just like that. So if I go to the middle here and I come up to my dotted line, there we go, and then I'm going to bring this across. I think I missed it though. I did miss it. So let me go back down. There we go. Excellent. So that should be it right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take this out. And now if I stop this from being see-through, you will see right here, I'm going to use this button to clean it up a little bit. And then you will see right here, okay, so here's the notch where it's going to go in, right? That's one side, okay? Perfect. Now, the next side, let's unhide that last one. Unhide the last one, there we go. Now this one we're done working with, so we can hide this. And now we're going to take these pieces here, and we're going to cut those, Control X, and then we're going to paste them in place here, edit, paste in place. And then here what we're going to do is we're going to basically do the same thing, but check this out. This will be a little bit easier. And I'm going to take that line out. And what I want to do is I want to bring the other piece back now just to, so I'm going to do unhide all, and I'm going to make it see-through. And I want to see exactly where we line up here. So that line's right there. And so I'm going to draw this line here. I'm just going to stretch it out because it doesn't really make a difference at this point. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hide this one. My bad. We're going to hide this one. Okay, and we're going to use these lines. Okay, so we're going to paste this in place. And this is going to be our guide for the other side now. So we're just going to delete that. And because this is flat, right, this is a lot easier because we're not using the front angle. We can basically just press this through and we're done. There's the opening. Now, if you look at these together, watch. Perfect. See how they interact like that? They intersect. So I mean, if you get an idea of that, these are just going to slide right in, and they're going to stop when they get to that breaking point right there. So if you were to just grab this, you grab this edge and put it right here. That is exactly what we want. Now we have a perfect. We have 45 degrees. We have the makings of the triangle here to make it super strong, right? So that's literally, this could be a stand. This would be all you need. This would hold. It would be strong enough. The only thing that bothers me here is that it does not have, like if something is really heavy, we're going to need to extend the legs here just a little bit. So looking at this, you've got to figure that, I would probably say that it wouldn't hurt to extend this almost the length of the card itself. So, so if we look at this here, this is about 508, it says. And I would say, why not make it like, let's see what 700 looks like. So if we come out to 700 on this, right? So we're talking about bringing this out to here. So what we're going to do is you have to double click this to work on it to get that piece. And I need to stand this up straight now so that I make sure that I do it exactly how I'm supposed to. So bear with me a second here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to rotate this so where we're standing straight up, and I'm going to bring this over to here. All right, this is what I'm going to work on right now. All right, and I will delete this because it's not attached to anything I'm using. Okay, so we want to, let's just say we want to take this out. It's 508. Let's go to 700. Okay, that's going to give us a nice little measuring the card. That's going to give us, that's not bad. You could probably go to 80 even. So let me just see. If I did that, or maybe we'll just find the happy point of 75. I don't know. Let's go 750. Okay, 750 actually doesn't look too bad. So if I take this to here, right, and then I'm just going to find this, this angle. Let's just say right here. Okay, so I'm going to find this angle, and you're going to notice very quickly that there's nothing happening, and it's not supposed to happen because this is in its own group. I'm just kind of drawing here. Then what I'll do is I'll just cut these. I'll go right here and I'm going to paste them. Okay, there we go. And then I'm going to tell it I want it to go ahead and make it a solid area. And what we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, there we go. Right now, the only thing about this that really doesn't make much sense is it's kind of huge and it's just bulky. But we also want to remember that working with round pieces is actually a pretty good idea. So we're going to try to round this out. So let's go to the halfway point right here, and let's just round this out, right? Because this part doesn't matter to us. This isn't going to make it stronger for us at all. So let's go ahead and get rid of this, and let's just give us a nice rounded edge, right? Look at that. That's great right there, okay? Because we just want the back. We don't need a bunch of material here that's going to make it awful. I don't want to make this too thin though, because I don't want it to snap. Sorry, my dog is barking. Apologize. So let's go back now, and we're going to have to do the same here with this one. So I think we said 750. Is that right? I believe it was 750. Yep, 750. Okay. So let's explode this one real quickly, and we're going to basically do the exact same thing. So we're going to go 750. Okay, and let's draw that out. not try to speed this up, because then what'll happen is there we go. And we'll bring this out just like we did the last one. Okay. Now from here, what we said is, well, let's just go up to here and we will do that just like we did on the other one. There we go. Awesome. Okay. So now we have these two pieces and they have now enough backing that they're not going to fall over. So we're not worried about weight anymore. The only other thing left that I was thinking was I want to make sure that we have a place for somebody to put like I don't know, like a for sale sign or a price tag or something. And this is a perfect opportunity for that. I'm trying to figure out what has this dotted line here. I need to get rid of that. There we go. Okay. So one of the things that I thought was, well, when these things are leaning into each other, right, we could put, there's room up here, and then there's room in the front. So let's just look at the options to do that. And so to do that, I'm going to make this, whatchamacallit, not see-through, sorry. And I'm going to see the design when it leans over. So let's go ahead and take it and let's lean it 45 degrees again, because we know that that's, so minus 45 there. And then we're going to take this one and we're going to go minus 135. And just like we did before, we're going to bring those together. So make sure they attach where they're supposed to, just like that. Okay. Now, one of the things that I can see here, what looks to me is we have all this space. So if you're looking at this, you have all this space in the front here that people are going to see, especially right here in this part right here. So I was thinking if we were to draw, right, a panel, I want to make sure I don't screw this up, so bear with me a second. But if we were to trace there, just like that, right? If we were to trace this, and again, it's 3 millimeters, so we're going to go 30. See, now here we could put something really cool, like engrave here. And so the only problem is we need to get this to fasten. So what I would say is, if we looked at this and we found that, let me make this a group so I can hide it. So there's a group and let's hide it, okay? So if we take this distance right here, right, and that's going to be 297. So here's the center right here, right? So let's take that center, let's find it here, just like that. And then we're going to go, let's go 40 up. So that's going to be 4 millimeters basically up and 4 millimeters down. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a tab. So the tab that can poke through the material in the front and hold it in place, right? I want to make sure I get the exact angle that I need. So bear with me. There you go, because it has to be perfectly perpendicular, or when you start messing with this, you're going to start getting a bunch of weird errors. Okay, and since it's 33 millimeters, we're going to come out 30. There you go. Okay, so there's one tab right there. And let's do the same on the other side. So we're going to come down to the center. There's the center right there. And then from here, we're going to go 40 up, 40 down, draw our straight lines, bring it out 30. Okay, now when we close this, all right, now let's delete these guides and then let's bring our unhide all. There's our faceplate. Now the only problem is it doesn't extend long enough, so we're gonna have to make this a little longer. So my suggestion here would be to go at least, let's see if we've got 30, and don't worry about the bump there, we're gonna get that taken care of, but you wanna clear 20 or 30, I would say, so let's just clear 30. All right, and I'll show you what I'm talking about in a second here. So 30, there we go. And I don't want this to look like it's got horns. So I'm gonna just come over here and draw a straight line across and delete these. 1, 2, erase the extra lines that we don't need. The rest of it, I don't mind actually. So let's do that. And now you can see, you see, we have enough room here to draw these. So let's go ahead and we're going to come in 30. Okay, so let's do that. And then what we're going to do is we'll use this down arrow here, 108 roughly. So what I'm going to do, and I'm going to do the same thing here. I want to do these guides because then what I'll do is I'll open this item, I'll copy these guided lines out like this. 1, 2, 3, and 4. There we go. I'm going to cut those, double click, and we'll paste those in place. All right. So what I know is we were coming down, it was 30 millimeters of right there. And I know that this was 80 millimeters to here. And then this angle is going to be the same, which is 45 degrees. So we're going to go up another 80 millimeters, and we're going to join this right here, okay? And we're going to push this through, just like that, right? Now, to keep things exactly the same, we can just drop the ruler down here, drop it down here, okay? And what this does is it tells us, okay, we're going to start by going up to here, okay? And then we know we're coming down here 30, and then we know that we're going up again, but we want to keep our angle the same, so we can use this here, and we will go perpendicular, and that should hit this line here, and then we're going to come straight down, and there we go. So now when I do this, we should be edit, delete guides, close this out, and look at that. We've got our piece now that will fit on this tab, and you can see where it's just gonna slide right on there, just like that. Okay, that's the idea. Okay, now to make sure I put this on properly, we just go ahead and line this up, and there we go. And now you could engrave anything you want right here, which would be really cool, and that's exactly what I intend to do. Right now, the only other thing left I said was something up here, which I really think is a good idea, and it's also going to give us some strength up here so that these pieces hopefully don't snap. Right? Because, I mean, it is 3 millimeter and we don't want to see it get too messed up. So one of the thoughts I had was basically follow the same idea here. So let's do this. Let's take this and let's draw ourselves from point to point. Okay? Because, again, we want to work with triangles, right? So let's draw ourselves this idea here. And then let me come on in here and draw a line that goes just like that. And we know that it is 3 millimeters thick, so that's 30. And this is just going to be what's going to help us trace our line. And we're going to do the same thing here. So we're going to come in here and we're going to draw the first dotted line will be to the corner, and the second one is going to be 30. There we go. Now watch what we do. So we take this line, we take it, and I don't want to go all the way down because I don't want to get stuck in this area and then we have a problem where it's hitting too close. So we'll come down to, let's say, how far is that? Let's just do 350 or 35 millimeters, right? Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing here. Come on down, 350, and then we're going to come straight across. That should give us our faceplate, hopefully, and that I'm not sure. Bear with me a second. I want to make sure that I have this. Whoops. Edit, redo. Okay. So we should be, let me look at this corner. Hopefully this is going to line up, or else I'm going to have a serious problem. There we go, perfect. Now we're going to pull this 30 or 3 millimeters, so to that line right there, and there. Now we have this top plate as well, right? But we need to get it to hold too. So what we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, let's do the same thing. We're going to hide this real quickly. Let's figure out where our middle point is. So let's do this just like that. There we go. And then let's follow the same rules. So we went up 40 and down 40. We got to keep it. Main thing is you got to stay on the face of this thing, or else you're going to end up, it's not going to work. So let's just do 80 total, right? And because that is going to be identical on this side, we can just go ahead and draw our line here for measurements. There's one, and there's two. All right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to basically just draw a line. What do we have here? That is not lined up like it should have been. So, oh, maybe it is. I don't know. Hold on. No, I don't believe so. No, it's not. So I'm going to delete this one real quickly. What we're going to do is we're going to draw this line straight across. Do it again here. Oops. There we go. Okay. And we're going to pull this out 30, just like we did for the other thing. So there's 30. Okay, now we want to mimic it on this side, and this is where I had just messed up. I didn't mean to, but it's easier if I just do it like this. So let me do that. There we go. Okay, and then we're going to do 30. And there we go. All right, now let's make this a group again. So that way we can keep it solid. There we go. And now we can say edit, unhide. Oh, now we are 41 minutes into this, so I appreciate your patience. Almost done, actually. Okay, so now with that said, we are going to measure out our line to make it exact. There's one right there, and then we'll come down here, and there's two. Right, okay. And then we could say easily this is 3, and then this is 4. And we can take these and cut them, double click, paste back in place, and draw ourselves. You could also use a square tool, but I don't like to use it. Draw this and then just push this through. There we go. There's one. Okay, and then we'll do the same thing here. There are always faster ways to do this stuff, and I'll tell you that sometimes I do the faster ways, but if I've noticed that like sometimes when I do that I get distracted and then I'm off by 1/10 of a millimeter on something and it carries through for the rest of the project, and next thing you know things don't fit. So I'm doing this intentionally the longer way so that I can make sure that I have no errors, especially because I'm making this video and I don't need any errors. Okay, so let's paste them in place. Let's draw this. There we go. And we're going to push this through. There we go. Let's delete our guides. Let's delete our guides here. And there you go, guys. So there is an awesome, I think it'll be awesome, stand, okay, that, whoops, sorry, hold on. I zoomed all the way to this. Awesome stand that I believe will be strong enough to hold, I mean, it's going to be able to hold a lot, but easily hold this slab and a cell phone or whatever else it may else you can think of. Let me see if I can just get this to drag across. Whoops. That's a lot. Okay, I keep making copies of this thing, so there, this is no more copies. So something like this, right? I mean, I don't have it centered, but this is the idea, and it will lean back as much as you need it to and give us a very good look. So let's put that there, a little bit more forward perhaps, and there you go. So that's something you can figure out would work, and it's not exactly centered yet, but there it is. It's pretty close now, right? So what we're going to do, okay, so this is where we're going to stop. We're 44 minutes, almost 45 minutes into it, and it is about 1:30 in the morning. So I'm going to post this video right now, and you're going to see this part's done. The next video I'm going to do is going to say, okay, now let's get this part cut. Let's see how it goes. I mean, it took 45 minutes to design it. It looks like it's going to be spot on. And so now let's get it drawn out. and so that we can import that into, if you're using a CNC or a laser. In this case, I'll do it for the XTOOL P2, but you can use it for anything. But gonna make a sheet out of it, and then that way we can fit as much as we can onto one sheet, and we can go ahead and cut that and see how it comes out. All right. So I'll see you guys in the next video. And like I said, I'm willing to do these things at no charge as far as drawing them up. All I'd like you to do is get the word out, subscribe, and do whatever, and we'll see if we can generate a little bit of revenue from the views, and I can kind of be cool for my kids or whatever. Anyways, all right, guys, God bless, be safe, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.